Well, Chiefy, firstly, the break, what did you manage to achieve? I guess you had some players obviously out on international duties, but what did you get done in the last couple of weeks?
Boys had a bit of a refresh, gave them a bit of extended time off. I think they deserved it. It's been a pretty crazy 4 months, including the pre-season, so it was more, for those boys to get a recharge. And but then we just knuckled down on a couple of playing style moments and philosophy, so it was good. It was just a good time to take a break, reassess, and start again.
On the back of the good win, was it just nice to look back at that plus the start to the season?
Yeah, no, it was a solid performance. Again, I'm not getting carried away. It's just we're very early in the season. We need to, we need to put, I think, back-to-back performances together in order to. I think one, it's a good sign of consistency, but also, I think for team morale, it's good. I think it's great. Show of resilience, especially from the week before. But I think if we can put 2 or 3 good performances together, I think that's going to go a long way.
Everyone from All Whites camp back ready to go this weekend?
Yeah, so we have some injuries at the moment. Payne will be out for this game. Unfortunately, he had a bit of an issue with one of his glutes, so that hasn't healed as expected. Hasn't healed quick enough for him to be available for this game. And then Sutts has picked up a knock yesterday at training, so we're just assessing that at the moment. But apart from that, I think we're as normal.
So Sam likely to get on the plane, or still to be decided?
Yeah, I think highly unlikely at this moment, unless we have a miracle afternoon. But I'm not ruling it out completely at the moment. But yeah, highly unlikely.
Okay. In terms of Victory, obviously, we know what happened earlier this year with them. Has that brought back kind of memories of the team, sort of when you see their name on the
yeah, I mean, look, me speaking personally, I mean, you have to ask the players, they might have a different idea, but that game for me now is long gone. That was last year's team, that was Popper's team, completely different feel. This is Paddy's team now, different ideas, they're playing in a different way. It'd be good to play. I think they're deservedly at the top of the table. They've been very good in all their games. I think they've got a very experienced squad. They've got some really good young players. Teague, Veldon, they run the midfield quite well. They've got some very good defenders, and again, their players up top are very effective.
Sam spoke yesterday, obviously before the injury, about his increased role, sort of getting up front a bit more. Obviously, scored a goal in that game. Can you explain, I guess, some of the focus you've given to him and some of the defenders about their time on attack? Yeah,
I think it's more to do with the just the change in our build-up philosophy. We feel like, for the most part, most teams defend the central players, like being pocket players, or the 10s, or the 9s, or designated wingers very closely. But when it comes to third man concepts, where players are harder to mark when they're not really scripted in the the defensive review, so like late runs from fullbacks and so on, actually can be the most dangerous players. So we're trying to incorporate that in the way we play. Also, when we play a 5, the wing backs need to get forward in order to be attacking outlet. And when we play a 4-5-1, for example, 4-3-3, again, if we have a player rotating down, the fullback can work in a higher position. So we like to build on this idea of fluidity as well, where, really, if you're the wide player and the player that can attack and be the most effective straight away, if it's the fullback, it's a fullback. If it's a 10, it's a 10. But Sutts has embraced that quite well. And is it across the whole defensive lineup you're trying to inject that in, or just key players?
Yeah,
I mean, look, probably the centre backs is where I stop. I like for them to stay in their position. But pretty much it's free reign, with a lot of the players. It really comes down to vision. It really comes down to football awareness. I mean, if you watch Inter Milan with Acerbi, the right-sided centre-back, he attacks in the 10 and makes forward runs. I'd love to get to that stage. I just think it's building the players' confidence and more importantly, their awareness. But it is a bit of a process.
Hideki was obviously someone new to fans this year. Got that goal, remarkable goal, just before the break. Has he sort of found his straps, you feel, at this point?
Yeah, I think he's been showing that promise all pre-season, and my gut tells me that that he still hasn't hit straps, the same as Nagasawa as well. I think that they're still getting acclimatised to the league and the physical demands, which is completely different to the leagues that they came from. But I mean, if you watch Hideki and Kazu at training, you know, they do some things that, you know, not a lot of players do, which is good. So yeah, no, it's no surprise to me.
So does that help with the break, or would more game time, you know, be better for them?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it. It's a two-edged sword. The break, you know, you can argue breaks momentum, but at the same time, it's a good opportunity to recharge and, you know, give players some breaks and get them more aligned to, you know, to where you want them to be as well. You know, I've taken this last couple of weeks, we've been heavier with training, so it's also a good opportunity to recover as well. So, yeah, you can look at it two ways. You don't know until you play the game. You know, if we win, it's genius. If we lose, then, you know, it's a break. So, but I think more mentally, it's good refresh.
And with the players now, I guess a lot of them will be eyeing all white spots for the qualifiers in March, 2 games to go to hopefully World Cup. How does that sort of work? You know, does it complement what you're getting out of them from the club? Does it distract them at all with, I guess, that side ambitions for them?
Being brutally honest, I think that it's hindered our preparation this season in terms of the early part. Having like a full squad being available for training, I think, you know, maybe I had 2 weeks out of the whole pre-season. But on the flip side, you know, when you're successful or, you know, you have a good season like last year, these things are going to happen when, you know, you have the majority of players, you know, eligible for a national team. And, you know, so I can't complain about it. I'm actually stoked for those players that are available and make the squads. And you know, for me, a big thing that we believe in here is that all players need to get to where they want to, and the national team is part of that process, you know. And the more we have in there, you know, the more exposure they get, and they get to where they need to. So yeah, yeah, it's again a two-edged sword.
And just the night round, just finally, you know, does it change much? Does it get involved with the festivities around a bit more, spend a bit of time with the other teams and coaches and everything?
Yeah, I don't think it's as easy as that. You know, we fly in tomorrow, we get in there around 6 p.m. Sydney time. You know, we'll have dinner, we'll have some meetings. We will try and venture out to the derby if we can, but it's pretty much, you know, then the next day we wake up, get ready, we're on the bus, you know, early morning. We have a 1:30 kickoff, so there's not much time for, you know, to see other people. After the game, we probably stay and watch the Auckland game against Macarthur because it's the same venue, and then we'll just, you know, do a review and then back on the plane first thing.
Cool.
And a couple of questions from Phil Roller.
Sure.
Tim Payne, was he close to being fit for this game? And if not, how long is he likely to be out for?
I think, I'd say fairly close. It was more precautionary. He probably says he probably needs another week of feet in order to get it to full fitness. So, again, you know, I'd like to think maybe, you know, if this was a really big game, like a semi-final or grand final, I think we could have probably played him, but at the risk of, you know, a real long-term injury. So, again, I think Payne wanted to play, but, you know, it's more about thinking about long-term, the whole season.
And then for Matt Sheridan or whoever steps up into that role, how much confidence do you have in them against a Victory team who have a number of very promising wingers?
Whoever starts merits to start. That there's no doubt in my mind that they should be playing. It's more of an opportunity. Injuries are a common part of every season. So again, it's more whether the player's ready to embrace that and take that opportunity. And happens to be against one of the best teams in the league at the moment. And I think whoever plays there will do a great job.